Are you exhausted from engaging with women who carry a sense of entitlement, who believe they deserve everything? Well, you're in luck. In today's video, I'm going to reveal 10 alpha rules that will help you destroy her ego and establish yourself as the leader. Buckle up and get ready to take notes, because this is going to be a game changer. Now, fellas, we all appreciate a good-looking woman, but drowning her in compliments might not be the best. Excessive compliments on a woman's appearance can inadvertently contribute to an inflated sense of self-worth. By refraining from constant validation, you distinguish yourself from those who may superficially focus on external attributes. It allows her to appreciate your interest in her substance rather than mere physicality. You know, we've all got our doubts and insecurities, but broadcasting them isn't the play. Confidence is key. Let her see the strong, self-assured man you are. Trust me. It speaks volumes. Seeking validation or opinions about yourself can convey a sense of insecurity. By demonstrating a self-assured demeanor, you communicate that your self-worth isn't dependent on external opinions. This not only fosters respect, but also positions you as someone who values their own judgment. It's time to upgrade that wardrobe, gents. It's not just about looking good. It's about feeling good. A sharp appearance tells her you've got your act together, and confidence is contagious. While dressing well may not directly affect a woman's ego, it serves as a psychological strategy. A polished appearance not only showcases self-respect, but also conveys that you are a person of substance. It subtly communicates that your value goes beyond mere external appearances. Remember, it's a subtle game, guys. Let her know there's competition out there. It keeps things interesting and motivates her to bring her A-game. Remember, you're the prize too. Demonstrating an awareness of other potential interests subtly challenges the notion that she is the sole focus of your attention. This encourages her to invest more in the relationship, fearing a potential loss and thereby maintaining a dynamic of mutual effort. Refrain from expressing "I love you." Love is fantastic, but timing is everything. Hold off on those three little words. Keep her guessing a bit. It creates anticipation and adds a layer of mystery to the relationship. Prematurely committing to expressions of love can alter the power dynamics in a relationship. By keeping such sentiments reserved, you create an environment of anticipation, where commitment is implied but not explicitly stated. This approach encourages a deeper emotional investment from her side. 6. Don't display jealousy. Confidence, my friends, confidence. Never let the green-eyed monster get the best of you. Stay cool. Stay collected. Trust me, she'll respect you all the more for it. Reacting to the presence of other men can signal a lack of confidence. By remaining composed and unthreatened, you communicate a strong sense of self-assurance. This positions you as a secure partner, reducing the likelihood of unnecessary conflicts and power struggles. 7. Limit attention. Time to play it smart, fellas. Be available, but not too available. Let her know you've got a life outside of the relationship. It's all about balance and making her appreciate your time together. Restricting the time and attention you provide establishes healthy boundaries. It communicates that you have a life beyond the relationship, making her value the time spent with you more. This strategy fosters a sense of independence and mutual respect. 8. Prioritize personal goals. Success is attractive, period. Focus on your goals, your ambitions. It not only makes you more desirable, but also sets the tone for a partnership of equals. A power couple, if you will. 9. Avoid arguments. Arguing? That's not our style, guys. Keep it cool. Keep it composed. Remember, a man in charge knows when to walk away. Don't let petty arguments mess with your vibe. Refusing to engage in arguments emphasizes a composed and mature approach to conflict resolution. It sets a tone for effective communication and ensures that disagreements don't become power struggles. This positions you as a partner who can navigate challenges with grace. Delay sexual intimacy. Slow and steady, gentlemen. Rushing things rarely ends well. Let her know you're in it for the long haul. Building a connection is key, and patience is your secret weapon. Taking a gradual approach to physical intimacy communicates a genuine interest in building a meaningful connection. It distinguishes your intentions from those who may be solely focused on immediate gratification. This approach fosters an atmosphere of trust and emotional connection. There you have it. Guys, a guide to navigating the dating game like a pro. If you found these tips helpful, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe for more content tailored just for you. Until next time, stay confident. Stay true to yourself. This is PsychoZone, signing off.